Throughout its history, the Orlando Magic have been quite an interesting franchise. They started off with Shaquille O'Neal and Penny Hardaway, looking like the future of the NBA, and they made it all the way to the finals. Then they lost Shaq and started the T-Mac era, where they paired up T-Mac with Grant Hill, and on paper that looked really good, but injuries caused them to be a really disappointing team. Then they traded T-Mac to Houston, and they started the Dwight Howard era, where they made some really good teams, but couldn't get that coveted championship. And then it's until like 2014 to like 2019, or around the end of the 2010s decade, they became the most mediocre team in the entire NBA, where there would be a 7 to 8 seed, and yes, maybe they would win like one playoff game, but everyone knew that they were not a legit playoff threat. They had some solid players like Nikola Vucevic, Aaron Gordon, Evan Fournier, but they really weren't bad enough to tank, but good enough to also make a championship run. And now they've embraced the tank. And with them having the first pick in the 2022 NBA draft, this changes everything for this franchise. And I wonder, what are they going to do with this opportunity to have the first pick and maybe change their whole franchise around? Before I start, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, as it further motivates me to make more videos like this. So let's get right into it. Last season, the Magic were 29th in defense and 20th in offense, with them having 22 total wins. However, with those 22 wins, they had a top 3 odds to get the first pick, and they ended up getting the first pick. And this first pick is going to be so big for this franchise. And I mean, there's of course debates, who will they draft. Personally, I was leaning towards Jabari Smith when I heard the news that, or when I saw that the Magic would get the first pick, but I'm kind of leaning to Chet Holmgren now. I mean, Chet is a 7 foot beast who can shoot, ball handle, and I would say definitely has the highest ceiling out of anyone in this draft. I mean, if he can get a little bit stronger, just put on some more muscle, then I think he can be an absolute monster. And it might take him some time to adjust to the NBA. I feel like that might happen like the first, maybe like a fourth of the season might be a little bit tough for Chet, but overall I think that Chet's ceiling is so high. And then Jabari Smith Jr., I mean, he's the youngest player out of the top 3, in Chet, Paulo, and Jabari, of course. And I mean, he looks so impressive in college. I mean, he rose from like a late lottery pick to potentially being the first pick. His shooting is there. He was like one of the best shooters in the entire college, and he's a 6'10" forward too. His defense looks really good, and if he can have that defensive versatility, that's really gonna make him so big for this team. Now, I still think Jabari, I mean, he of course is really young, of course, and he has some really raw potential that if he can work on, then he was gonna be like a really good player. But for this Magic team, I mean, if you look at the fit, I mean, they already have, I guess, Wendell Carter. I guess he can play the 4 or the 5, and then you slide in one of those big in Chet or Jabari Smith. That's already gonna be a solid player that the Magic can pretty much build around. Now, either of them I think would be good fits. Personally, maybe you take Chet because of the upside, and this Orlando team needs a future superstar to carry them to the promised land. But I think we'll get more information. There was like a poll that the Magic are leaning towards Chet, which I guess makes sense overall, but definitely it's such a big opportunity. I mean, this can change their entire franchise, and they really have to hit it. And then on the roster right now, you really have some big bright spots. I mean, Cole Anthony averaged 16, 5, and 5, and he's been one of the most underrated players in the entire NBA. His 3-point shot is there. He has some actually pretty good hops, and he had like a solid streak of 20 points per game. And being only in his second season, I think Cole can either be, I mean, I guess their starting point guard, or even a really good 6-man. And I think Cole's future is pretty bright, and I think that he can be a solid contributor for this team. Franz Wagner was on all-rookie first team, and a lot of people expected him out of coming off the draft to be like this NBA-ready guy who still had a lot of who haven't really proven much, but coming to the NBA immediately, he looked like the real deal. He was so aggressive, getting around the paint. Yes, maybe you want his jump shot to be better, but the passing was there, the defense was there, and he's only like 20 years old too. And Franz, I feel like, alongside Cole Anthony, some other players we'll talk about, is just another solid building block that even if one of these guys don't work, I'm pretty sure a couple of them will stand out, start a breakout, and just gathering this young core is going to be so big for them. Then you have someone like Wendell Carter Jr., who looks like a solid two-way big man. They of course got him in the Nikola Vucevic trade, and in Chicago, I mean, he was solid, but he really really didn't allow him to break out. In Orlando, he's starting to shoot threes. There's less pressure on him, and on both ends, he's really like Cole Anthony, and a lot of people on this roster have been quite underrated. And then I would say, have some question marks with these guys. You have Jalen Suggs, Markelle Fultz, and Jonathan Isaac. Now Suggs, first year, yes, he had a lot of struggle, but he's literally a point guard, and that takes a couple years out, at least his rookie season, to get used to the NBA. And Suggs definitely had some bright spots. I mean, he faced a lot of injury issues. I think he got surgery on his ankle, which hopefully he'll be ready by the start of the season. But Suggs, I mean, we saw it in college. He's a good leader. If he can improve his jump shot, I think he can be a lot better. And then, I mean, can they build around him? I would say give him like a couple more years. You definitely don't. Suggs was the 5th pick for a reason. I still think that he has a lot of talent in him. And then Markelle Fultz and Jonathan Isaac. I mean, it's kind of confusing what they do with them. I mean, Fultz, of course, was the first pick a couple years ago. They got him for pretty much nothing. I think like a 2nd-round pick and Jonathan Simmons or something. Like, that's nothing. Then in the start of the season in last year, he was on fire, and then he tore his ACL, and that really hurt him. I mean, he's locked up for the next couple years. They got him like a $50 million contract. And if he can come back, which I really hope he does, I mean, he's been through so much in his young career. But if he can come back, I mean, this guard rotation is already like pretty crowded. I mean, you got Suggs, you got Cole Anthony, you still have someone like a young player in RJ Hampton. And getting all those guys consistent playing time and trying not to run like a triple guard lineup is going to be really tough, and they're really going to have to figure out which one of these guys can they rely on to be their starting point guard and shooting guard. Now, of course, don't make it after their first season like for Suggs, but overall, they're definitely going to have to figure that out. And Jonathan Isaac, I mean, when he was playing, he's one of the best defenders in the entire NBA, but it's when he's playing, he just can't stay healthy at all. I mean, he had the torn ACL in the bubble, and then he had an injury before that. He missed this whole season, and the injury just keeps on getting worse and worse. They're piling on and on. And now that the Magic have a lot more talent, I think that they're going to be a little bit less reliant on him. I mean, before they projected him as like a 20-point per game scorer, defensive player of the year. But now with all this offensive talent in Suggs, Franz Wagner, Cole Anthony, I think if he just focuses on his defense, maybe be able to hit like an occasional jump shot, have that good cutting, I still think he can be a valuable player. He's also locked up, just like Markelle Fultz, and if he can stay healthy, I mean, he's been out for 2 seasons, so like you can't really judge someone by that. But Isaac, definitely a big question mark alongside Fultz, and that can really elevate this team so much. So like Mo Bamba, their 5th pick in 2018, I mean, he just didn't have the red switch situation. I'm pretty sure that Mo Bamba's gonna leave. I mean, there were already rumors about him leaving on the trade deadline with the Magic trading him in. I mean, he doesn't fit on this team anymore, especially they're going to draft a big. They already got Wendell Carter Jr. They have a couple bigs that they don't really need Bamba. I mean, Bamba just doesn't really fit in this team. I mean, he got barely any playing time his first couple years, and even when he was solid when he played. I still think he can be a solid backup center, being able to stretch the floor and block some shots. But on this Magic team, I don't really think he just fits. But this offseason really is going to be really important. I mean, they need to make the right selection. I mean, getting the first pick, you really need to hit on that. You can't hit a bust, and that would really just set this franchise back so much. But the options of Jabari Smith and Chet Holmgren, I mean, those are both solid options, and they have some cap space coming up. But I would say just keep on doing this rebuild. Maybe get like 2 or 3 more years of seeing how the young guys develop, seeing like are there topics that work out, because still like whoever their first pick is, Chet or Jabari Smith, Franz Wagner, Cole Anthony, Suggs, they're all pretty much not even done with their 3rd years yet. And just giving them more time to get used to the NBA, giving them more playing time, letting them see like what they truly are, I think it's just going to be some more development years. I mean, from 2 years ago, this Magic's future looks way better. I mean, first pick, you got Franz Wagner, Jalen Suggs, Cole Anthony, and also some players like Jonathan Isaac and Markelle Fultz that we still know can play very well. But it's going to be an interesting offseason. I still think that it's going to be a low-key offseason after they draft for the first pick, but they're just going to look for internal development, and maybe in a couple years they're going to have a solid team and maybe build something better than what they had a couple years ago. So that being said, that's going to be my thoughts with the Magic. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all next time.